Anders, with John Goodman in the opening, I was wondering, did you like study Skull Island to kind of find your performance, or you're like, Bill is a guy completely different time of his life. Like, let's just start fresh.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of like, I'm going to start fresh, but really that was just because I was not trying to compete with John Goodman, right? It's like, I can't do what he does. The dude's a national treasure. So um, I just kind of brought what I bring to the character and had some fun, tried to keep it light when it was light and tried to hit those dramatic beats when it was dramatic.
Mari, my favorite scene of yours that we can talk about so far, is
Mhm.
is the Castle Bravo test, which is to say the bombing of Godzilla.
Mhm.
We really see a really emotional side to Keiko in that scene. And
Mhm.
there's just a lot of talk. Like, there's a lot to unpack with the American military, like destroying a Japanese icon with nuclear weapons. Like,
Yeah.
kind of walk me through that scene. Walk me through that day.
Um, you know, I, we don't really talk about it in the show of where Keiko came from, but the writers and I have talked about it, and I also, you know, um, thought a lot about where she came from and what her experience with the war was. And that is Keiko's origin story, the experience of the war, right? I would say all of the Japanese people who were alive at the time, it was such a, what's the word? That becomes your foundation of how you live your life, right? And she is an extreme of that because she's studying radiation and tracking radiation. She's studying the impact of radiation, which wasn't even uh, a field at the time and later became a field, radio ecology, I think, in the 70s, 80s, later on. And, she's not alive to see that. So it's really sad. But that's the that's what she was trying to do, right? Because she saw the devastation of it and she, you know, like anybody who saw it thought never again. So that's where the drive comes from for her. So, and then on that journey, she encounters these titans and she's fascinated by them, and her passion and curiosity turns towards them also. So in on that path, she's suddenly faced with this um, object that is the source of her traumas and losses. So you know, I kind of get emotional thinking about it. But yeah, and I think as a Japanese actor, to get to embody that pain in such a I don't know, dramatic moment, it's there are no really words or dialogue. There's just a few lines of screaming, but in that like condensed moment, to be able to pour that pain into it was yeah, a big responsibility and also, you know, um a privilege as a Japanese actor.
Absolutely. A lot of the early episodes of the series, you guys are always in a lot of dark settings, a lot of like cramped claustrophobic settings. Like, how was it kind of like exploring the physical side of your performance and playing pretend with giant cockroaches and other monsters?
Yeah. Yeah, for the Lawton scene, we were on this gimbal set for maybe 3 days. So we were like seasick we felt like we were floating for days after.
Yeah, when you're on a gimbal and the set's moving, like you don't have to do as much acting as you think, right? Like you go in there, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And then when the room starts shaking, you're like, oh, this is totally different. But super fun, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
How was it working with Wyatt? He kind of complements your Three Musketeers setup that you guys going on this kind of globe-trotting adventure. How is it filming across British Columbia with him and all these big scenes?
Mhm.
It was great. I'm starting to call us a thruple. Um, Apple TV Plus will probably they'll say stop saying that, but until then, Wyatt was fun. I'd never met him. I'd never met Mari either, and I feel like we hit it off and we had a good time, and
Mhm.
it made filming easier. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising because the three of us had never been in the same room until I don't know, the day before the first shoot or something.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was just easy. And yeah, Wyatt is so relaxed. So it's just kind of nice to be around him and feel the relaxation. He's very
Mhm.
chill.
I got time for one more, and it's kind of I'll go a little abstract with this one. And next year is the 70th anniversary of Godzilla, and he's the king of monsters, is having a great year. -1, Monarch, all these great things. What do you think it is about Godzilla that stands the test of time and appeals to millions of people worldwide for all this, for generations?
He's hot. He's got style. He's got swagger. It's undeniable. No, but I just think that like he's such an unbelievable character, right? He's larger than life. He's like you can't avoid him. So like whatever problem you have going on in your life, like it pales in comparison to if a Godzilla came into your city, right? So there's just something like that you just have to give yourself to something of that, magnitude.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it means different things for different people, and that's why it has such a wide appeal. And one of
Mm-hmm.
my friends who's a Gothic literature professor, she was saying that human beings have this fear of something that they birthed getting out of control and not being able to control it, and like Frankenstein. And I
Or
think
my children. Go ahead.
truly. No, I think it speaks to sort of like a basic level of like instinct that we have, perhaps. And that's why it continues to fascinate us and terrify us. And yeah, it keeps us on our toes.
And that is my time. Catch Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. New episodes every Friday on Apple TV Plus. This is Sam Stone, CBR. Guys, thanks for taking the time and talking Godzilla with me.
Thank you,
All right,
Sam.
Sam.